Well, it's not Lockheed, it's Honeywell. Honeywell makes it, but then the black box itself, yeah, Honeywell.
Wow.
Yes, Honeywell makes it.
Same Honeywell as the piss?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Same Honeywell.
Wait,
What's the piss? What?
Hang on, no, I got it better.
No, I mean no, it's, I'm thinking of honey pot. Never mind. I'm thinking of the
Oh, piss pod? No.
That's why I was like, you gotta be kidding.
No, Honeywell makes all kinds of stuff. They make like controls, like thermostat controls, and they make a ton of stuff.
Right.
I mean, Honeywell makes everything.
Right.
But yeah, no. So the fiber optic gyro, yeah, they do absolutely do have proprietary parts in it.
Oh, okay.
Right. Don't you have the ring laser right now?
I do. You want to see it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do.
You said it does earlier.
Yeah.
I do want to see
This
it.
basically has the frame, but this is the guts of it itself.
Can you show both real quick, the ring laser and this one, if you don't mind, Bob? I'd love that.
I have to actually put the little stand together.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Guys, Bob's gonna show us. Bob's gonna show us the ring laser gyroscope that made him smarter than Einstein.
Actually, he explained it too. He never touched it. He actually was talking about somebody else's experiment.
Yeah.
And they took his words.
I know.
Way out of context.
Yeah. Same with Jaren. They did the same thing with Jaren. One sec, guys. I gotta plug my phone in to
because I want that completed so that I can.
and then where is the charger at?
Logging a lot of shit. All stuff. I mean, sorry.
Here it is.
And then we'll do Bob and his wife tomorrow.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Charge this up real quick,
Yeah,
guys.
actually tomorrow would be better.
All right.
I don't want to come up all night.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking that 5's going to come up.
That would be too, so.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody, we all have to get up and do it.
Oh, yeah, you got the actual, what time are you getting here? You're getting 5:30 on site tomorrow?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I gotta put this thing
6,
together.
6:30-ish?
Take your time. It's all good.
Yeah.
Were you gonna show the ring laser too?
Yeah, I'll show you the ring laser.
Do we-
And then I'll maybe put this together tomorrow or something.
Computers,
Okay.
There's all these little freaking parts.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, boom. Thanks.
Boom.
Wow. That looks like the football the president carries around. Have you heard about that? Have you heard about that thing?
The thing where he has the bomb.
Yeah, the nukes. Yeah, the nukes. The keys to the nukes. You think nukes exist, Bob?
Nope. I don't believe it for a second.
Why do you think they lied about the nukes? Fear
For the
mongering.
same reason that they do everything else,
Everything
fear
else.
mongering. I mean, when you look at the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there's no way that was firebombed. That it was firebombed. It was
Yeah, I heard plants and everyone. It was immediately back to normal. There was no radio.
no radio, no half-life, nothing like
Okay.
that. And then the Enola Gay, right, which was the bomber that dropped the bombs.
Yeah.
What's really amazing is the footage that they show with the mushroom cloud coming up. It's shot from a window that looks out over the wing on the Enola Gay, but there's no window there.
Wow.
So they even botched that.
They faked the Enola Gay footage.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
They most certainly did.
That's incredible.
B.
All right, so here is the fiber optic gyro, this expensive little,
Is it too flat?
and I had it wrong at 20. It's actually Rick said it was $14,000.
Okay.
So, and this is it. This is the device itself.
Okay.
This is a little thing that.
Fiber optic gyro.
Yep. And this is the little control for it.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
this is so we can actually attach it to a computer. And I gave a demonstration online of it on Globebusters, but Chris and I will be playing with it a lot.
Okay, and how are you going to manipulate this? Denver being the best place for this.
All right, so what we're doing is the way that we're going to prove this ether is if the ether is coming in a toroid, okay, then it's going to have different angular rates on the same latitude lines from up high as compared to down low on the same latitude line. And they should be measurably different, you know, when you're
Okay.
actually looking at the ether drift. And
How high
remember,
up do you have to get for that toroidal interference?
we were figuring that if we had about a 4,000 foot difference on the same latitude line, that should be enough
To register
to
something.
register a change that we can actually conclusively say,
Okay, and
That's what's
there's
going
for
on
no
here.
reason should the Earth change the amount of rotation.
from the altitude? No, absolutely not.
Excellent.
The altitude on it should make absolutely no difference whatsoever. So the way these things work in general, at least when they're in an airplane, is they're mounted directly to it, whereas a gyro like this is actually gimbaled. Okay.
Yeah, free
But
flowing.
these are mounted hard. So if my hand is the fuselage of the plane, and you've got this, the fiber optic gyro has these axis points right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 3-axis fiber optic gyro. So essentially, when the airplane does this or this, that's the pitch.
Pitch and yaw.
Okay, the yaw is like this,
Okay, yeah.
and the roll is like this.
Okay.
So there's your three axes that are on it.
Pitch, yaw, and roll.
And it
All
does it, but I don't know if you understand how the Sagnac effect works, but essentially the way it works is there are 3 windings of fiber optics in here.
Mhm.
Okay, and essentially the theory behind it is
And in the ring laser, those are vacuums with the laser going through it, right? So the 3 windings
Well,
is opposed to a vacuum with a laser.
I don't know if it's vacuum or it's hermetically sealed. I know that, but I don't know if I doubt it's a
I
vacuum.
think the ring laser is. I'm
Well,
not saying this
the
one.
ring laser probably would be, but
Yeah.
this operates slightly different.
Yeah, I got you. It doesn't need to
The
be.
ring laser is actually doing it in free space.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
This one doesn't need to be. Okay.
No,
Got
this
that.
is actually sending it through a coil of fiber optics.
Okay.
Okay, so
Josh, can you make sure I'm live, brother, real quick on my YouTube? Can you make sure I'm live on my YouTube real quick? Well, if you get a chance. If you're not busy, I don't know if you're busy over there. Sorry. Go ahead.
always busy, but
actually, I can tell you right now.
yeah, I can-
Are you subscribed?
I'm on Facebook. I just want to make sure I'm dual wielding the.
Nathan Thompson is live.
All right, cool. Yeah,
Okay.
done. That's all I
Yep,
needed, Bob.
There I
Thanks.
am.
Sweet. Excellent. I want to make sure the YouTube fans are getting this. I love you guys. So, there's a lot of controversy over the ring laser gyro.
Yes.
We're gonna cover it for sure.
Okay, excellent.
And yes, we're absolutely
Yeah,
going
we're
to
doing
cover.
a full.
You want to hurry up? You want me to get out of here and
No, you're fine.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Right now, as soon as I set up, and I'll tell you guys. Because I need to get Chris back in. We're actually going to interview Bob and his wife tomorrow. So
dun dun dun.
yeah.
So anyway, the basic theory of how it works, and I'll describe the ring laser because it's a little easier than trying to take you through the fiber, even though it's exactly the same principle for the most part. But what happens is you have a laser beam that is fired in 2 different directions going around in a circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got you.
And as it's traveling around in a circle and they pass each other, they will come back to the start point perfectly in phase. So there won't be any phase differential of the light itself.
Yeah.
Now, if you change slightly the orientation of it, then one side has a little bit longer path to go around
Yeah.
than the other one. So you have a longer path this way and a shorter path this way, and then when they get back to the detector, there will be a slight phase differential between
So
the two.
one
light beams.
laser is either fighting the rotation of the Earth or the ether that's moving.
Yeah, but let's leave the rotation of the Earth out of it. For now, let's just say the device itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's what gives you the interference pattern or the phase differential that makes these things work.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the ether basically regulates the speed of the light, whereas in relativity, they're saying that relativity, everything is relative. The speed is the same no matter whether you're turning it this way or this way. So first of all, in relativity, the Sagnac effect could never work, because that would mean that it wouldn't matter that there's a little bit longer distance because
It's all relative.
yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah.
That's precisely it.
Huh.
So that's the biggest problem with it. But what is happening is the medium that the light is traveling through, and traveling through the medium is kind of a misnomer. It's more of a rate of induction, and this gets into a little bit. It's a little bit hard to describe this, but if you have a fixed polarity, right, and you have positive up here and negative down here,
Yeah.
okay, and let's say that this is a light emitter. This is light that's traveling between these. Instead of a photon actually physically traveling that difference, there is a change in the potential difference between the source and the destination.
Okay.
So basically what's happening is when you change like the voltage on one side or the other, the rate of induction through the ether actually changes, or the rate that it actually this is really hard to do without visual effects.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But the rate of induction will change.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So this ether is there, and the ether it actually travels in a toroidal type of pattern, just like a magnetic flux field.
And so, wouldn't that pattern be more distinguishable towards the center? Because the donuts should get smaller and smaller as you come in towards the center, right?
Well, there's two different rotations going on. There's a centrifugal, which is the outside part of it, and then there's a centripetal, which goes right through the center.
Okay.
Okay. So there's actually two different rotations that are going on there.
Yeah.
But the ether itself will regulate the speed of induction, because it's the ether, after all, that is conducting these light energies.
Can't
or
wave
also
nothing.
EM energies. Yeah, exactly. So because we have this turning field around us, and of course the stars are intimately linked to this, very much so.
Yeah, and our compasses.
Well, the compasses are tied to the magnetic, but light itself is actually, traveling through the ether.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
It's not a magnetic phenomenon. It's actually going through the ether.
Okay.
So I guess I'm getting back to the reason that we're saying that it is the ether that's doing this is because there has to be a medium for this change of rate of induction to go through, or if you want to look at it the old way, which I think is the incorrect way, there has to be a medium for the photons to travel through.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to look at it that way. And if you don't have that medium, and what I would describe as like a static charge field, okay, if you don't have that there, then you don't have any way for light to propagate, okay? So, but this fabric itself, this ether itself, is constantly in rotation, just like a magnetic field. And it just so happens that it rotates at 15 degrees per hour.
Yeah.
And this is why it carries the sun and the stars, and the moon, of course, to a slower degree, but actually is carried in this field.
Yeah.
Because we don't believe that the sun and the moon are physical objects, right?
Or in space.
Or in space, right?
Yeah.
They're actually up there in ether, and how they're actually manifesting, who knows, right? But the
Maybe your wife, Cammy.
I'm sorry.
Maybe your wife, Cammy. She's getting to the bottom of it. I just want you guys to know, Cammy's getting to the bottom of it. So
She is, and like I said, this is something that is much easier described with graphics. In fact, one of the best, I think, graphics of it so far is the Malcolm Bowden. Are you familiar with Malcolm Bowden?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's pretty cool. We'll have to bring it up when
Yeah.
you're here.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
But there's a really good demonstration of it, and as to how this is actually propagating through the ether.
I want to ask you the whole alignment theory while I got you. I know you're talking about this in Canada. This is your thing
I
in
talked about it
Canada.
in Canada, yes.
You already did?
Yeah,
I thought
did
that-
it last year.
Oh, I thought that it was coming up in August.
Well, no, the Canada conference is going on right now. In fact, it started tonight.
Truth Quest.
Whatever it
that
is
what it's
that's
called?
in Alberta, Calgary.
Calgary. Okay.
That started today.
I thought I was watching a recent video and you were saying I'm going to talk about the dipole alignment. It must have been an old video, that old.
It must have been, yeah, because it had to be a year ago, because I talked about it last August, whenever it was. Yeah.
All right, because I wanted to chat with you because I watched a video last night about the chromosomes having an electromagnetic field, and the way that they're making DNA is with the fractal implosion.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that could be correlated to the dipole alignment theory that you have, in that all atoms are dipoles, and that when something falls, it could be inherent in the atoms that's causing it to fall and implode fractally, like on a subatomic, like particle level. I don't know. Please talk about what you think.
So essentially what's going on in the dipole alignment theory is that because of the fact that we are in literally an electrostatic soup, we know for a fact that there's an electrostatic potential that rises at the rate of 100 volts per meter.
Yep, got you.
And it's been measured all the way up to 50 kilometers, 35 miles, something like that. Okay, so by the time that you get up to 50 kilometers, you have a 5 million volt difference of potential between 50 kilometers, which, or wherever the firmament is, and the earth ground.
5 million volt differential.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, that's an average. It will flux, with lightning storms and anything like that. Okay, but everything that is in between that, okay, because of the fact that we're literally in this electrostatic suit, all the air molecules and gas molecules and everything like that, if you want to look at it in traditional physics, or if you want to look at the way that molecules work, or atoms work, is you've got your nucleus, okay,
Yeah.
which is, and then you've got the outer electrons that are orbiting in the outer ring, okay?
Yeah.
And what happens is the mass of the nucleus is way higher, on the order of 1,000 to 2,000 plus times greater than the orbiting electrons.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening is because you have a negative charge on Earth ground and a positive charge, assuming the firmament, and at least that's my model.
Yeah.
So you've got a fixed static potential that is there. That what happens is all molecules that and atoms that are in between that will have a very slight distortion in the nucleus where you have the electrons orbiting, but what will happen is it will slightly bring the nucleus down towards the ground, a very small distortion.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so when that happens, what it does is it gives a very small bias to a downward direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the theory behind it. Now, one of the proofs I think that really, well, there's several proofs of it really, but one of them in particular is we know that high voltage discharges has caused things to kind of go anti-gravity, if you will, because what's happening is when you have a high voltage discharge, you are disrupting that standard potential that's between the Earth and the firmament.
That's how they're levitating things, by adding an electric charge. Is the same.
Exactly. And remember, I don't know if you saw my lecture on the spider ballooning, but spiders do this thing. They are able to fly. One of the best aviators in nature is spiders. Okay?
Yeah. It's like, does that have something to do with the London force?
It absolutely
Yeah.
does have everything to do
Yeah.
with the London force. That's correct.
Okay.
So spiders will what they'll do is they are able to sense the electrostatic field, and when they do that, they'll raise their abdomen and they'll spin out a little bit of silk, right? And then what happens is they will change the electrostatic potential on that silk itself, and it will allow them to literally fly. And we know that the ballooning is not necessarily, it's not at all by
Wait,
blowing
so the
them around.
the spider flies, or the web flies out?
Well, when the spider lifts up its abdomen, it puts out a little bit of silk.
Yeah, okay.
Not a lot. But the spider is able to change the electrostatic potential of that silk. And when it does that, it literally gives it an electrogravitic effect.
The spider goes up?
Yes, it can go up and
Wow.
down, and it can regulate that. So a combination of that and also winds, that's how spiders actually balloon. But the University of Bristol decided that, because the theory was, well, either they're being blown around or possibly there's an electrostatic, element to it. Even Wikipedia acknowledges that, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So the University of Bristol did a study on this, and what they found is that they had a completely contained environment that mimicked Earth's natural electrostatic field. Okay, and the spiders instantly picked up on that, and then they were able to balloon and fly around in this construct without there being any prevailing winds at all.
Wow.
So that proved unequivocally that they could literally tether off of this silk web that it puts out. Now another proof of it, and this is from NASA, believe it or not,
Electrodynamic
the
tethers.
tethers that they use.
I already knew you were going
That's
there.
right. And that's something that, this is how they're actually manipulating these balloons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're getting the balloons to go up and down, and because we already know that there are air currents at different levels going different direction, that essentially allows them to steer these things around
Yes,
using
using
elevation and the winds aloft,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
and it could all be all digital, and it doesn't even have to be someone operating it. It could just be AI, pretty much, like a computer, like a program. Like we want it to be here or go here, send it, and so, yeah, interesting.
So anyway, so that's, so there's two proofs, and there's actually a lot more.
So they're harvesting energy from the ether that they say doesn't exist
That's
with the tethers.
exactly.
So
And that electrostatic field has got to be maintained by something. It's like think of the Earth and the firmament as a giant capacitor.
Yeah.
Okay? There is a field, there's a charge at each end of it, and there's a field in between it. And within that field is all of us and everything which operates electrically. Now the spiders and the NASA's ballooning, they have caught on to this, and they are able to, by this tether and by changing static potentials on it, they can make things rise, go up, go down, and all of that.
Talk about, please, if you could. They fried the lines for the tether when they sent it up, so
Yeah,
it was
that one.
producing way more electrical charge than they
Way
had.
more.
Way more. So the people at NASA got it wrong again. But what was interesting is there's tons of energy up there that they're hiding and not telling us about it. But then they also tell us, like, either they've got it wrong or can't do it yet, which is a good way to hide that they've been doing it for a while, right? Like, to come out and say, oh, we're working on something. Oh, it failed. It's like, well, no, you've had that for a while, and that's just...
We're ready. We're
Guys,
ready.
okay,
All right.
guys, I'll
We're gonna
let you
film.
do that.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry, we don't want to keep you guys waiting. Alright, Chris, you're next.
All right, one sec.
I'm sorry.
No, it's your honor.
Thanks for your time, Bob. Where did my one sec.
I'll try to get some graphics for you. You know, to kind of give you a little bit better depiction of how the ether is actually working.
Okay.
Because it's really, really hard to describe and, you know, get a picture in people's minds without graphics.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I never give you the code.
Base one to help it.
Well, let me see how yourself work.
But yeah, so it is that force, the same force that the spiders are using and the NASA tethering, it's the exact same force
Yeah.
that is causing the acceleration
Normally it'd be
of gravity, right? But that acceleration is not mass attracting mass.
I don't know,
or
I just-
space-time bending.
Want to make sure I'm.
It is an electrical phenomenon.
A lot of the electrical phenomenon is tied to phi. The golden mean ratio,
Yes.
Fibonacci.
Yes.
Is there any correlation between the rate at which things fall
So you guys
and
are
Fibonacci?
turning this on?
Have you looked into that? This is something I just thought of recently. If things fall in a Fibonacci sequence, that would be insane.
Okay, y'all,
Like, that would be really
It has
cool.
something to do with it.
I
Okay.
do need it quiet down
Okay.
here. If you don't mind.
Go for it.
My stand. I had phones. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
How's the light? Is the light too flashy?
Nope, light's good. Light's good. All right. That's set. Alright. So, quiet on set. As much as possible. Alright. Say something.
Test.
Test one?
We're good to go. Yeah, we should be. Say it again.
Test.
Test one?
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Okay, Chris, could you talk us through your journey of how you became a flat earther?
Okay, how I became a flat earther. in early 2014, I looked into it and I ran across some Matt Boylan stuff. And I watched it and it was a little bit out there for me, so I kind of dropped away from it. Then the end of like September, October 2014, I ran across Eric Dupay and My Perspective and looked into it. And after I watched some of that, it took about 2 or 3 days of thinking about it, and then finally it just hit me. It's like it's been right here in front of your face the whole time.
And so what was it specifically? Was there a moment or was it just a collective of truths that made you, yeah, this is it, this is true?
Well, one of the first things I thought about was my differential leveling with surveying. Then the other thing I thought about was my pilot training. When you get in a plane, they teach you to look out at the horizon, and that's how you can stay on a flat, level flight. So you stare out at the horizon, pick a spot on the dash, and you keep it on the dash so you can fly straight and level. After those two things, it was like 2 nights of almost sleeplessness going, it's been right here in front of your face.
Wow. And so can we talk about your flight experience in terms of when you're flying, do you ever tilt the nose down to account for curvature? You're saying you fly straight and level. Is there any time at all if you're flying? Well, first of all, what's the longest distance you've ever flown?
From Denver to Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Okay. And how many miles is that roughly?
Probably 120.
Okay.
Yes, and 110.
Got it. And during that time, would you have to ever account for the curvature of the Earth? Have you ever been taught to account for the curvature?
No, in fact, on the most airplanes, they have what they call a trim. It's got a wheel where you trim it out. So basically what that is you get to the altitude that you want to fly at, and then you can adjust it so that it holds the yoke for you, and you can pretty much take your hands off of it, and it'll fly straight and level forever.
Straight and level. And so are there any apparatuses that help you to determine that you're on that straight and level? Or when you say the trim, does it actually become like autopilot at that point?
It's not an autopilot. Basically what it is, it's a mechanical device that you can adjust that'll keep the yoke exactly where it's supposed to be. And you could actually, if you wanted to, you could take the trim and push it forward, and you can dive the nose, or you can pull it back and you can bring the nose up using the trim itself. So it's not anything that's electronic that would adjust for the curvature of the Earth. It's actually a mechanical wheel that just locks in the yoke at the altitude that you want to fly at.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would want to tell the listeners about the shape of our Earth, or where they can actually go to look into more information if they wanted to learn about the shape of our Earth?
Oh, there's all kinds of information that you can look at. Globebusters, My Perspective, I really like his stuff. God, I could go on for hours of the channels to look at. Got Nathan Thompson's Facebook stuff to look at.
Chris, thank you so much for giving us your perspective and your expertise. And we're looking forward to Force the Level and coming back to learn more about your results on that. So thank you so much.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And cut.
Love you.
Nice.
Huh?
Awesome.
Did you cover how he became a flight officer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pilot and surveying. That's an awesome
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The profession. Two
Yeah.
professions right there.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
get that question all the time in the group. Are there any pilots in here? Well, we're live right now. He's a
Right,
pilot.
right now.
Bob, too.
Yeah.
Bob is too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah. And Bob flies planes, too.
How did you
Boom.
Do you feel like we got everything?
I feel like we got. How'd you? Yeah. Is there
That's
anything you
good.
think that we should have covered that we didn't? Anybody?
If you think of anything, we can always
Yeah.
go back to tomorrow and wrap up or.
I think some of the stuff you've done that other people haven't done might be interesting to talk about, like the angular size of the sun changing, or the moon moving the same distance as the stars. All the stuff we talked about might be worth mentioning.
Should we do it?
Like, what is some research that you've done outside of being a surveyor and an airplane pilot that
What?
puts the nail in the
Should we do
coffin.
that? You
Yeah.
wanna hit that right now?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's done some really cool observations that I hadn't even heard of.
Okay,
I
let me,
don't wanna take up too much
Right?
of his time, cause you gotta get up at like 2 hours.
yeah, they got a long day tomorrow, so.
A little longer than that, but
He's like, I can't see a thing, I have.
Well, at the conference, I stayed up till like 3:30, went home,
Yeah.
slept an hour and a
Oh,
half. and
he
went
said
to-
33 Illuminati confirmed.
Well, you just get that energy of just feeding off of everybody else's
oh
energy.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun. That's why I purposely stayed off campus. Like they all stayed in that. I'm like, I know I won't sleep, so I'm going back.
Okay,
Ready?
ready?
Bob, do you know where the laptop?
Say something? Chris?
Test.
Test one.
Okay. Hold on.
Hang on, Nathan's gotta grab his laptop.
I'm gonna grab laptop.
Okay. Sound check again?
Test one.
Test.
Okay. And we're recording. And 5, 4.
Chris, outside of being a land surveyor and a pilot, what other research have you done that has drawn you to the conclusion that the Earth is flat?
I've done star trails. I wouldn't say that this proves that the Earth is flat, but the observations that I've done, I believe, proves that the stars and the moon and what we've been told about what's above our head isn't what they told us.
Can you tell us about the star trails?
Yeah, what I did is I went out, I call them moon trails and star trails, where I wait for the moon to be in the sky at the same time, and I do star trails. And what I noticed was, whenever I do the star trails, you get the long streaks, and the moon does the same thing. Well, the star trails that are right next to the moon, they're the exact same length. Well, if the stars are further away, like they tell us they should be, those should be shorter trails than the moon that's way closer. So with those being the same length, that tells me that they're fairly close together. The stars and the moon are the same distance, or fairly close to the same distance away from us.
And how do you record these trails? What methodology do you do?
I set up my P900. You can set up a P900, and it's got a star trail setting on it, and you can film the star. It'll go for 2.5 hours and give you like a 10-second video of the star trails.
And so in your opinion, how far is there a way that we can measure the distance from where we are to where our moon is?
No, there's no way that you could. You have to know one or the other thing. You have to know the distance to the moon, or you have to know the size of the moon. That's the only way that you can determine how far away it is. And they don't have either one. So I don't, anything that you say would be speculation until we can get an exact measurement to the moon, or we know the exact size of the moon. Without either one of those, there's no way to tell how far away it is.
Back in February of 2019, the scientists came out and said that our moon now is inside of the Earth's atmosphere. And this was like crazy to think. Well, then it really begs the question, did we actually go to the moon? Or not go to the moon, but did we actually go to space? Because they said that, space is outside and then we went through the moon and all these things. That being said, it feels to me like science can be just whatever they want it to be. They just keep changing however they want to change. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, on what they tell us about space
Yeah.
and their narrative. I don't know how to answer that.
That's okay. That's okay.
The final frontier, and it's made in
I was
Hollywood
watching a
basement.
video today on space, and it was like, oh, there's so many violent explosions of stars.
Alright.
It's so violent they can tear their space fabric. And I was like, damn, I'm getting freaking terrified if I believe it. If I believed in any of this stuff, this is terrifying,
That triggered me. That's a good point. They tell us that the Big Bang in space is total chaos. Everything's flying around. But you can look up in the sky and you can set your watch
Magnetically
to the stars, the moon, and the sun. It's like a perfect clock. So when they tell us that everything in space is just totally chaos, blowing up and everything else, you can look in the sky and it works perfect like a clock.
Like a clock.
So how can it be all chaotic like they tell us it is?
That's a really good point. So Chris, could you just tell our audience again, introduce yourself, what you do, and, is that good? You want to just introduce yourself one more time? Introduce what you do. and-
Actually, I want you to go. Also, I want to do a closing. Hi, I'm
Shelly Lewis.
Shelly Lewis with Chris, and you're watching
I'm playing truth.
The Plain Truth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I may cut this up into little segments if we do
Teasers.
teasers and stuff. So
Teasers.
I want because
I
you're the
like that.
interviewer.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes,
Correct.
Chris,
Yeah.
Van Maitre. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
Um,
Shelly Lewis.
wait. 5, 3.
Hi, I'm Shelly Lewis, and this is a behind the scenes with Chris Van Maitre from The Plain Truth.
And cut.
Okay.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Is that? I think we're good.
I think we're good. Do you have anything else? You think that you did awesome?
Yeah.
Good job.
You know what? When you said his name, I would have mentioned pilot and land
Okay, let's do
surveyor.
it again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
Okay.
Pilot and land
Yes,
surveyor, Chris.
yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're
5,
welcome.
4, 3.
Hi, I'm Shelly Lewis, and this is a behind the scenes with Chris Van Maitre, who's a pilot, a land surveyor, and we're talking about The Plain Truth.
Excellent.
Okay, good.
Nice.
You need to go with us, man.
I am for hire.
You're so
I'm
good.
flat earther for hire. Bob, you need me for FECORE? I need food and gasoline. That's what I run off.
Right.
So,
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just let me know. I'm happy to help.
So Bob, I have a question. You have absolutely the right to tell me no,
Mhm.
but I would love to tomorrow maybe get to look at the office where you shoot Globebusters and do kind of a behind the scenes
Yeah.
with Bob.
Thank you so much. I look forward to
I
like
just think it'd be
seeing
fun to.
the
Yeah.
surveys.
Well, take me about 15
To
minutes to clean
advertise.
it up because the word is.
Okay.
Karen messed it all up today.
Awesome.
But he's staying
Thank you
till
again
Sunday,
for
Monday.
opening your house
So he'll be
stuff
doing
and
any
letting us
final
come
wrap
do
ups
this.
or whatever.
Total.
Yeah.
So,
Been fabulous.
you think we'll be
Becoming
okay
a
tomorrow to
tradition.
record? We'll be alright to record tomorrow, you guys will be okay with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm okay to leave this all this stuff
Yes.
here. Okay. All right.
It's gonna go on Craigslist like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's all
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome.
I mean, no. Well, we didn't have both lights
Oh, that's good, no, cause it was more of a fill light.
on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's good.
Oh, Fight the Flat Earth's gonna see that and he's gonna be like, oh, JM didn't have all the lights on.
I know.
He obviously doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know and he doesn't know the shape of the Earth either because he didn't have a light on.
Right? We didn't have a light on.
Awesome.
You know, I told Fights the Flat. I was like, dude, I've got $40,000 of equipment. He's like, and my shit still looks better than yours. I'm like, whatever. You're doing Hollywood garbage, and I'm doing stuff as teaching material.
Yeah.
I don't care.
He's
about
doing
making you look
Fight the
Hollywood.
Unicorns. Fight the Unicorns.
This is. I want this to look professional. But my videos, I don't care. I'm putting out information.
It's like us running into a guy who believes in unicorns and then starting a YouTube
He
channel.
probably does.
Fight the Unicorns.
Yeah.
Right? That's how goofy. I mean, if you really thought the Earth was a spinning globe,
Ridiculous.
like if anything, you'd be like, yo, let me reach out to you. Nathan, what's really going on? You know what I mean? Like that's what they would do. They wouldn't be like, mass flow meter. You got a mass flow meter.
That's something totally that I would do if we ever went back on the channel.
I'm gonna help
Totally
take
handle
this
like
away.
psychologist. I've noticed that you, and forget flat earth, right? They think I'm coming in. I've noticed that you've got some real attitude and some real problems and some issues. Let's talk about your issues.
Some anger
Right?
issues.
And,
Tell me about your father.
Totally flip the script on him. Not talk about, I'm not here to talk about flat earth. I'm here to talk about you.
Tell me about your
You're
father.
really what's important to me.
Yeah.
And just totally, you know,
Yeah.
that would totally freak him out probably on that.
Too
That guy
funny,
is
dude.
such a jerk, man. I cannot stand him.
Right?
Yeah. They just made a video yesterday about Jam.
I call him
Oh,
my
did he?
British twat. That's what I call him. He's my British twat.
He's like a pet troll, kind of. It's like a
He
pet.
is.
He's a
See,
pet troll.
I don't watch him. I don't pay. I know I'm aware of him. I don't
Yeah.
watch him. I don't pay any attention to him. I have no use for trail. I don't. They have nothing to say that is
Of any value.
Yeah, none to me at all. And in fact, honestly, just even debating with these people to me is a complete waste of time.
See,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm like, we were on
We
I went
did
to
a
the
couple
channel.
times.
I'm not going back.
Yeah,
I've
we
been
went
on
a
the
couple
channel.
times.
I've,
That's
you
it.
know,
You
Yes.
know.
Totally.
I want to hear their arguments. That's all. And then I want
I'm
to
not
shut them
even
down.
interested in arguments anymore.
We
I
all
was
know
on your
their
channel.
arguments.
You all know what it is.
Oh, we grew up in
They're
the same
to argue.
system.
That's
It is.
why.
Sometimes they come up with a new one, like you know, like oh look, shouldn't have a sunset geometrically. Look, I'm going to prove geometrically you shouldn't have. McToon tried to use this in a debate. You know who McToon is?
I've heard of him.
Okay. He calculated that the sun's 17,000 miles away on a flat Earth, and he drew a triangle and said, "This is a 9-degree angle. Tell me why I can see the sun, or tell me why I can't see the sun at night. It wouldn't set with a 9-degree angle. Look, according to my autographic Super Mario Muppet vision that I think I have, you know, that they think they have, and then so they forget the medium that's bending light. They forget the topography that's blocking things and the foreshortening, because I mean you could have a mountain, a 2,000-foot mountain in front of you, the sun goes right behind the thing. It doesn't have to be 17,000 miles away. It can be right there. So yeah, so that was McToon's argument, and I was like, are you guys kidding? This is what you use to fight flat Earth, is no medium, no topography, autographic view, Super Mario vision. Orthographic. I thought it was orthographic.
No, it's orthographic.
Spelled with an O?
Yes.
All right, cool. Good to know. Orthographic, yeah. It's orthographic Super Mario Muppet Vision.
It's
So.
just stupid.
Yeah.
They don't put anywhere near the amount of research to try and understand them that we do.
Yeah, I know.
They just don't.
I think it's well known in the community that light bends, but then they also assert that water bends and then don't take into account the light bending when they calculate distant objects not being seen from the bottom up.
Yeah, Nathan and I've caught all kinds of stuff. Like we've stayed up and counted, like they've missed atmospheric lensing, they've missed, you know, all this stuff. Like you've not taken into account the fact you're shooting through an atmosphere.
Yeah, and then I'll wake up in the middle.
Calculations do not take
And then I'll wake up in the middle of the night and call Josh and be like, Josh, I forgot to say this. And he's like, oh yeah, that would have been a good argument, didn't it?
I know.
So
I hate the question, why can't you see forever? You know, it's like, oh my God.
Well, then they told us there was no such thing as a disappearing point. I'm like, wait, what? Like that's an actual thing.
A what point?
A vanishing
A
point.
vanishing point.
Vanishing
Okay.
point.
Yeah, okay.
And they're like, there's no such thing as a vanishing point.
there wouldn't be a horizon on
So
flat
you
Earth.
can,
Oh my God.
so you've got super X-ray vision, like you can see forever. Like,
Well, these are the same people that think that you can see the ISS for 8 minutes. And it's traveling at 5 minutes. It's like, give me a break, guys.
Is it really 8 minutes? I thought it was 5.
Well, Jared says he's been able to see it longer than that, but I get the notifications all the
Yeah.
time, and
And then
it's typically
non-disclosure.
around 6.
Not that it even
But
matters,
I've
'cause
seen it
everything
as
was
high as 8,
probably,
and
like,
Jared says he
recorded
sees in
anyway, but
California he sees
just
it as
that-
high as 8. all
What's
the
funny
time.
is they're like, just
8, 9,
look up at the satellites, the lights in the sky, and like, why would a
Do they have to sign
car-sized metal box
Hey Joshua,
be a light?
huh?
they have to
at
sign a
200 and something
non-disclosure,
miles
and
away,
that
you know,
basically
like,
says they won't talk about
That's
the production
insane. At
outside.
that distance,
Even though we
a
have
car
like live stream and stuff.
would not be visible.
Well, even the ISS,
Oh,
the
the
ISS
light
same size as
shouldn't
the
be.
747.
Well,
I mean, the
yeah, 'cause you know what?
747,
The lights-
you can barely see it at 5 miles
Miles
up, and
up.
the ISS is supposedly traveling at 5 miles a second.
Yeah.
So it's, and you can see it for 8 minutes, which means that in that at 5
You know
miles a
what?
second
How-
for 8 minutes, it's
here's-
traveled all the way across the
Let me give
country.
you
Bob, how are they
here.
only
Hold on.
270 miles away from Earth
Nathan, hold on.
and 0 gravity?
Hold on. I do need to cover this. I need somebody to record this.
Record it.
Yeah, and I'm recording things because last time they said they weren't doing these are the thing bats.
These
that
are
I'm
really good,
covering.
so we have everything on
Yeah,
record.
so I would like everyone to sign a non-disclosure agreement. All I care about is that you're not talking about what was done here on studio. I don't care if you talk about the documentary. I don't care if you talk about the fact we're doing a documentary. All I care about is that we're not talking about what topic was talked about on camera.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I care about. As far as your guys' stuff, I have no control over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your guys' is your guys',
Yeah.
and that's not what I'm interested in. All I'm interested in, anything that had to do with these 2 cameras
Yeah.
and what we're doing for the production. Outside of that, I don't care if on Globebusters you want to talk about the plain truth, you want to talk about the fact we're doing a documentary, you want to mention Shelly, I don't care. Like I said, all I care about is what happened in the last.
And we're gonna give
How
them
many
all of
hours
the
we were
footage
doing.
of
That's
the.
fine. Yeah, I have no
And we're
problem
gonna
with
give them all the footage.
Oh yeah,
of-
we've heard that
Yeah,
before.
you guys
Shelly.
are getting a
Yeah,
copy
we've
of
heard
all the
that.
footage. And you guys are getting a copy of all the footage for your experiment anyway.
Yeah.
Everything that you said here
That was funny.
in your lecture meeting thing, you're getting a copy of all that. All the stuff that we're documenting for you guys, all that's yours. Are getting you a copy of that. So,
Yeah.
like I said,
Cool.
all I care about is in case of legality issues, that we have this covered and y'all, and it's actually to cover all of us.
Mhm.
That's what I care about.
Yeah,
Your guys' stuff is your guys' stuff and not covered under the NDA.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, so then
that would be
Dylan,
completely unethical of
you know,
me.
you really need to sign it
So,
before we
yeah.
have you.
Yeah, no worries.
Just,
So,
cause it's not like we can fight that at all. I'm looking for.
All right. Well,
I gotta find a pen.
how long till you leave, Josh?
Here.
actually, I'm just gonna I'm gonna disconnect the shoulder, or the camera rigs.
Thank you so much.
Hooked up my lenses and stuff, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah. I was thinking about combusting some plant material.
Combusting some plant material.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely, brother.
You don't have to give your last.
All right.
social if you
We'll see you
want.
soon, fam.
It's just in case.
Do me a
they give the
favor.
last four of their social?
Add your friends
No,
to the official
no.
Flat Earth
Don't
Just
need
your,
Globe
and you can even
discussion.
make a bogus address.
And if you
too.
want to support the
Actually, the
channel,
only people
links
ever-
are in the details.
I
I could
actually-
use help. I
actual
love you.
actors, because of Social Security.